summertime when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky.
Silver bells hanging on a string. She told me it was my ding-a-ling.
Now you feel inside, yes, rock on.
A beach hit banned for being too happy, a song censored for moans, and one blamed for suicide. These weren't accidents. Each sparked protests, lawsuits, and moral panic. How did music that shocked millions become classics no one forgot? 25. Big 10-inch record. Aerosmith, 1975. A blues joke turned into one of rock's most censored songs. Radio stations pulled it the moment DJs caught the double meaning. Steven Tyler laughed at the chaos, saying the record was about music, but fans heard something else entirely. The controversy only helped Aerosmith. Sales spiked, and the band's reputation as the bad boys of American rock exploded. It later became a cult favorite at concerts where crowds shouted every line. Yet some cities banned the live version through the late 70s, calling it indecent. Few knew the song was a cover from 1952, originally sung by Bull Moose Jackson, which was banned then too. History repeated itself, only louder this time. Next came a band that shocked even Chuck Berry. 24. My Ding-a-Ling. Chuck Berry, 1972. Already changed rock forever, but this one made parents furious. My Ding-a-Ling sounded like a childish rhyme, until censors realized it wasn't about toys. BBC banned it in 1972, calling it smutty. American stations followed, but it still hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, his only chart topper. Church leaders protested outside venues, claiming Berry had gone too far. Ironically, he performed it for years in schools before fame made it controversial. The song sold over 1 million copies, proving Scandal sold better than sermons. Berry called it a joke everyone understood differently, but the laughter divided generations. Then came a hit that sounded innocent but hid a darker twist. 23. Angie Baby. Helen Reddy, 1974.
You live your life in the songs you hear on the rock and roll radio. And when a young girl doesn't have any friends, that's a really nice place to go. Folks hoping you'd turn out cool.
Helen Reddy looked like America's sweetheart, but this song scared radio hosts. It told the story of a lonely girl who traps a man in her mind forever. Psychologists debated its meaning. Parents said it glorified delusion and revenge. Yet Angie Baby topped the charts, selling over 2 million copies and earning Reddy her third #1. In some states, radio stations quietly stopped playing it, calling it disturbing for teens. Reddy never explained the ending. She said mystery was the point. Years later, critics named it one of the strangest pop songs of the decade. But then came a tune that turned humor into outrage and almost got its writer banned from radio forever.
But they had to take you out of school. You're a little touched enough, ain't you, baby? Lovers appear in your room each night and they wouldn't come alone. But they always seem to fade away when your daddy taps on your door.
22. Short People. Randy Newman, 1977.
Short people got no reason to live.
Randy Newman joked about prejudice, but no one laughed. The line, "Short people got no reason to live," triggered protests and radio bans across the US. Congress even discussed it as a possible hate song. Newman said it was satire about discrimination, but humor didn't travel well. DJs pulled it within weeks, and some states banned it from local charts. Still, it hit number 2 on Billboard and sold over 1 million copies. The uproar proved something. America could handle war lyrics, but not a joke about height. Newman later said, "No one wanted irony on the radio." Yet, just a year earlier, another song had caused chaos for celebrating something even simpler: getting high.
Short people are just the same as you and I.
21. One Toke Over the Line. Brewer and Shipley, 1970.
Waiting for the train that goes home, sweet Mary, hoping that the train is on time.
When this mellow folk duo performed their song on national TV, no one realized what toke meant. Then the FCC found out, and everything changed. Radio stations banned it for drug promotion, though it had already hit the top 10. Brewer and Shipley insisted it was a spiritual metaphor, but Nixon's America didn't buy it. The tune got blacklisted by Christian networks, even while conservative programs accidentally played it thinking it was gospel. The irony made headlines, and the band turned the duo into counterculture heroes. By 1971, over 2 million copies had sold. But that same year, another band song brought Sunshine and Sin into one irresistible chorus.
Down in a railway station, one toke over the line.
20. In the Summertime. Mungo Jerry, 1970.
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. When the weather
This song sounded like pure joy, clapping, laughter, and sunshine. Yet under that happy beat, people caught a line about drinking and chasing women. Some stations in the US banned it, saying it encouraged recklessness. The band said it was about freedom after a hard decade, but freedom made censors nervous. In the Summertime sold over 30 million copies, becoming one of the best-selling singles in history. It played everywhere, from beach bars to protests. The BBC briefly limited airplay after accidents linked to drunk driving. Ironically, that controversy kept it alive for years, making Mungo Jerry's summer anthem timeless. But just 5 years later, one disco song took censorship into darker, more forbidden territory.
along with us, dee 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 dee, da 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 da, yeah, we're happy, da da.
19. Love to Love You Baby. Donna Summer, 1975. Radio programmers froze the first time they heard it. 17 minutes of pure moans and rhythm. Donna Summer said it was art, but some called it pornography set to music. Italy, Spain, and several US cities banned it instantly. BBC Radio cut it to 3 minutes, trimming every sigh. Yet that scandal made Summer a global name. The song sold over 6 million copies, turning her into the queen of disco. It also pushed open the door for female sexual expression in pop, something critics feared but fans embraced. Summer later said she recorded it lying in the dark to sound natural. Around the same time, another woman used her song to break a completely different taboo: birth control. 18. The Pill. Loretta Lynn, 1975.
All these years I've stayed at home while you had all your fun.
Country radio didn't know what hit it. A mother of 6 singing about birth control? Stations banned it across 30 states, but rural women secretly bought the single by the thousands. Loretta said, "It's just life." The song climbed to the top 5 on the country charts despite bans. Hospitals even reported women quoting her lyrics in clinics. The Catholic Church condemned it publicly, calling it immoral influence. Yet Lynn's honesty turned her into a quiet hero for women's rights. Decades later, historians called it the first major feminist anthem in country music. Before Loretta shook Nashville, though, one French duet had already caused global outrage for something even more intimate.
You set this chicken your last time, 'cause now I've got the pill.
17. Je t'aime moi non plus. Serge Gainsbourg and Jane Birkin, 1970. Few songs in history caused more panic than this one. Two lovers whispering and sighing in French. It became too much for radio in 11 countries. The Vatican officially banned it, calling it sin against decency. BBC followed, even while it hit #1 in the UK. Gainsbourg said he wanted a song you make love to, not sing. Birkin was just 22, and the scandal nearly ended her career before it began. The record sold 6 million copies, more because of the bans than despite them. Stores had to hide it under counters. And soon after, another European hit about forbidden love would light the same kind of fire, this time in London. 16. Roxanne, The Police, 1978. When Sting sang about a man falling for a sex worker, the band had no idea it would cause uproar. French stations banned it for immorality, and conservative US DJs refused to play it. The Police self-funded the single, printing only 2,000 copies before it was pulled. Yet word spread fast. By 1979, Roxanne broke into the Billboard charts and became a cult anthem for misunderstood love. Even the red light poster on the album cover sparked letters of complaint. Sting later said the song came from walking through Paris and seeing what real love costs. But the next story turned rebellion into addiction, and its truth hit even harder. 15. Cocaine, Eric Clapton, 1977. This song had a groove too smooth for comfort. Clapton covered J.J. Cale's Cocaine, and within weeks, parents groups demanded it be banned. The word itself was enough. Radio stations tried muting the title, but fans sang it louder. Clapton said it was anti-drug, but people heard something else. It became his biggest live hit, selling over 1 million copies and echoing across the late 70s rock scene. Some cities cut it from concerts, afraid it glorified addiction. Ironically, Clapton later admitted to battling the same drug during the song's rise. That confession turned it from party anthem to warning. Then came another hit that blurred lines of love and gender so sharply, censors couldn't decide what they feared most. 14. Lola, The Kinks, 1970. A man falls for someone who turns out to be a man. Too bold for 1970 radio. The Kinks wrote Lola after singer Ray Davies met a drag queen in London. BBC banned it first for a different reason. They thought Coca-Cola was advertising. Davies re-recorded the line as Cherry Cola, but outrage came next. It climbed to #2 in the UK and sparked debate about gender identity long before it was common talk. In America, some stations dropped it, calling it confusing. Others played it twice as much. Decades later, Lola became an LGBTQ classic. Davies once said, "We just told the truth." Soon after, another rocker sang about city streets even darker and walked straight into censorship again.
I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Oh, my Lord.
13. Walk on the Wild Side. Lou Reed, 1972.
Plucked her eyebrows along the way, then he shaved his legs, and honey, he was a sheep that said, babe, take a walk on the wild side.
Lou Reed took real people from Andy Warhol's factory and turned them into icons. Trans women, hustlers, dreamers. Every line told a true story. Walk on the Wild Side made middle America blush. BBC muted parts, and US stations banned it for the line, "giving head." Yet the single sold over 1 million copies, proving curiosity wins over fear. Critics called it poetry. Parents called it filth. Reed shrugged, saying he was just writing about New York as it was. His calm voice made it sound casual, which made it even more shocking. By 1972, the backlash grew louder, and one Beatle soon used his mic to challenge an entire nation.
The sugar plum fairy waiter came and hit the street. What? Looking for soul food and somebody to meet. He went down to the Apollo. You should have seen him where they go. Hey, babe, you take a walk on the wild side. Oh, honey, you take a walk on the wild side. Now, Jackie, she's just speeding away.
12. Give Ireland back to the Irish. Paul McCartney and Wings, 1972. This one came out of anger. After British troops shot unarmed protesters in Derry, Paul McCartney wrote the song overnight. BBC banned it the same day, calling it political propaganda. Yet the single hit #1 in Ireland and #23 in the UK despite the block. Even American stations hesitated to play it. McCartney said he had no regrets, though it nearly got him barred from future broadcasts. The band turned him from ex-Beatle to political rebel. Decades later, he called it one of his proudest songs, though it cost him millions in lost airplay. And while McCartney faced silence from radio, another band made noise so raw it could barely be contained.
And nobody knows like me. But really.
11. Brown Sugar. The Rolling Stones, 1971. Few songs mixed so much danger into one riff. Slavery, sex, and power, all packed into 3 minutes. Critics called it genius. Activists called it exploitation. Some US cities banned it for racial overtones, while South Africa blocked it completely. Despite that, it reached #1 in America and became one of the Stones' signature songs. Mick Jagger later said he wrote it in 45 minutes in Australia, inspired by every bad thing you can think of. By the mid-70s, radio stations began quietly dropping it again as protests grew. The song survived every ban, still dividing fans half a century later. And just when controversy seemed to cool, another rebel stepped in. Half wild, half unstoppable. 10. Lust for Life. Iggy Pop, 1977. Every drum hit sounded like trouble waiting to happen. Iggy Pop had just survived heroin addiction and teamed up with David Bowie to record in Berlin. Lust for Life roared with raw energy, but its lyrics about drugs and chaos set off alarms. US military radio banned it, calling it unsafe for morale. BBC cut it for questionable references. Yet the song climbed international charts, reappearing decades later in Trainspotting, the same film that made it famous again for the drug scenes it once got banned for. Iggy said, "I wanted it to sound like joy with danger under it." Then came a darker track that turned joy into despair and made parents march on record stores.
Here comes Johnny in again with liquor and drugs.
9. Suicide Solution. Ozzy Osbourne, 1979. Ozzy wrote it as a warning about drinking after AC/DC's Bon Scott died. But in 1986, parents blamed the song for a teen's death. They sued him, claiming the lyrics pushed suicide. Courts dismissed it, but the headline stayed. Radio stations banned it in several states, and record stores hid it under the counter. Ozzy said the song was about self-destruction, not encouragement, but few cared. The controversy made it one of his most famous songs, and one of the most feared. It sold hundreds of thousands despite no radio play. Years later, the same story repeated with another band, proving fear sells records faster than airplay. The next one, though, wasn't fear. It was death turned romantic, and people didn't know how to take it. 8. Don't Fear the Reaper. Blue Oyster Cult, 1976.
Come on, baby, baby, take my hand. We'll be able to fly.
The line, "Come on baby, don't fear the Reaper," caused instant panic. Parents thought it promoted suicide, but it was really about eternal love. Still, schools banned it, and preachers called it evil in rhythm. The band said it was a metaphor for accepting death, not chasing it. Despite the controversy, it reached number 12 on Billboard and sold millions. Years later, Stephen King used it in The Stand, giving it a haunting new life. The cowbell joke came decades later, but in 1976, nobody laughed. People called radio stations demanding it be pulled. Soon after, another band took on war itself, and their lyrics hit even harder. 7. War Pigs. Black Sabbath, 1970. Churches tried to silence it before the record even dropped. War Pigs attacked politicians and generals, calling them the true devils. Radio banned it in the UK, fearing it would offend soldiers in Vietnam. Yet it became an anthem for the anti-war movement. Ozzy's chilling vocals and Tony Iommi's riffs made it unforgettable. The album Paranoid sold over 4 million copies in America alone, bans or not. Military radio refused to play it, but soldiers traded bootleg tapes overseas. Years later, historians called it one of the boldest protest songs of its time. And when rebellion found a voice again 6 years later, it came with a British snarl and chaos on stage.
Ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs.
6. Anarchy in the UK. Sex Pistols, 1976.
Antichrist. I am an anarchist. Don't know what I want, but I know how to get it. I want to destroy.
No band caused more public panic. The first time Anarchy in the UK aired, politicians called for censorship. The BBC banned it instantly, calling it a national disgrace. Stores refused to stock it, yet it still sold 200,000 copies. The Sex Pistols became symbols of rebellion overnight. Their concerts were chaotic. Arrests, riots, and headlines followed every show. The government treated them like criminals, but their message spread through pirate stations and bootleg tapes. Decades later, the song ranked among Rolling Stone's 500 greatest of all time. Then came another song from a Beatle, so peaceful on the surface, yet banned for its quiet rebellion.
I promise sometime, maybe after the long time, stop and come ignite. Future dream as a shopping scheme.
Five. Imagine. John Lennon, 1971.
Imagine all the people living for today.
Soft piano, calm words, but the message hit like a storm. Imagine There's No Heaven made churches furious. Some US radio stations banned it during the Cold War, calling it anti-religious propaganda. Yet the song topped charts worldwide, selling over 21 million copies by later re-releases. Lennon said he wanted peace, not rebellion, but leaders feared its power. Schools in the South removed it from music programs, while Vietnam protesters played it in the streets. Even decades later, it gets banned temporarily during wars for being too idealistic. Ironically, that silence made it louder. And just when music seemed too gentle again, one rocker wrote a love song that shocked every censor for its brutal honesty.
Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
4. Only Women Bleed. Alice Cooper, 1975.
Smokes and drinks and don't come home at all. Only women bleed.
Alice Cooper wrote a song about domestic violence, but people thought it was about sex. The title alone triggered outrage. Stations banned it instantly, assuming the worst. Cooper said, "It's about pain women face, not pleasure." But controversy sold records. It reached number 12 on Billboard, selling over 1 million copies. Feminist groups later praised it for showing truth behind closed doors. The shock rocker, famous for Fake Blood, ended up writing one of the most serious songs of his career. Years later, he said the misinterpretation proved how people hear what they want. Then, as if censorship had a face, another band released a song that mocked the whole idea of authority itself.
She spends her life through pleasing up a man. She feeds me dinner, oh, anything she can. She cries alone at night, she wants.
3. God Save the Queen. Sex Pistols, 1977. Released during Queen Elizabeth's Jubilee, this song turned chaos into protest. The Sex Pistols shouted "No future," and Britain lost its mind. BBC banned it, major stores refused to sell it, and yet it hit number 2 on the UK charts. Many claimed it was purposely kept from number 1 to avoid scandal. The government called it treasonous. The band got banned from touring in England altogether. Still, people lined up to buy copies in plain sleeves. Decades later, the song became punk's national anthem. But rebellion took a stranger turn next. when a rock legend asked a question nobody could quite answer. Two, Who Are You? The Who, 1978. It sounded like pure energy, but censors caught one thing: the F word. BBC muted it, American stations bleeped it, yet the song became one of The Who's biggest hits. It hit top 20 on Billboard and defined the band's late career. The irony? It later became the theme for CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, playing daily on mainstream TV. Roger Daltrey said he sang it drunk after a long night in London, which somehow made it real. It was rebellion polished into perfection, rough edges left in place. But the decade ended with a song that summed up everything: freedom, mystery, and a quiet kind of darkness. One, Hotel California, Eagles, 1976.
On the dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
People thought it was about the devil. The line, "You can never leave," fueled decades of rumors. Churches banned it, calling it satanic. But Don Henley said it was a story about fame and greed in California's music scene. The record sold over 32 million copies worldwide, won Record of the Year in 1978, and made the Eagles legends. Its haunting solo became the most replayed guitar part of the 70s. Even now, listeners debate its meaning: addiction, fame, or eternity. Whatever it meant, it ended the decade with mystery that never faded. And that's how the 70s proved one thing: ban a song, and it only grows stronger. Music never feared silence. It turned bands into legends. If these stories pulled you in, keep watching. More hidden battles between songs and censors wait on the next reel of history.